Hello everybody, today we're playing Brawl with Tovolar, Dire Overlord. He's a 3 mana 3/3 in Gruul, which is red and green, legendary creature, human werewolf. With whenever a wolf or werewolf you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more wolves and or werewolves, it becomes Knight, then transform any number of human werewolves you control. If he transforms, he becomes Tovolar the Midnight Scourge. He becomes a 4/4. And whenever a wolf or werewolf you control deals combat damage to the player, draw a card and has X, pay a red and a green. Target wolf or werewolf you control gets X plus O and gains trample until end of turn. So this is pretty much your premier werewolf and wolf tribal we have right now in Brawl. I wanted to showcase what is the best wolf and werewolf tribal before the Hobbit set and just compare it. Is this still going to be the best after the Hobbit set? Especially this is going to be before it gets all the other wolf support, the green ones especially, but the Hobbit set is going to have a lot of Golgari support, which is not going to be compatible with this commander. What makes this guy pretty good in Brawl is he has the ability to draw cards. Especially as an aggro deck, you have the ability when those wolves and werewolves do damage, you get to draw cards. We get to play a lot of wolves. We are going to dump our hand very quickly, especially with all the interaction we're going to be running to guarantee us to connect. And that allows us to refill our hand. Even if we're drawing a couple lands, it guarantees us to play additional lands. If our commander dies, we get to replay him. And it offsets one of the weaknesses of being an aggro deck is that we just run out of fuel. And this allows us to constantly have interaction, have extra creatures, and be able to rebuild in case we get dealt with. As for wolves and werewolves on Brawl, there's quite a few, especially on the ones we're playing a lot of generic small creatures. Notable ones is the Tenacious Pup, that is an alchemy card that makes our next creature a bit stronger. Ascendant Pack Leader, able to grow in power if we have a creature, a permanent with value 4 or greater. And one of the more interesting one is, where is he? Guessing Wolf Rider. He has Menace, which is pretty useful with our commander because we get to guarantee the damage. And if we exile 3 cards from our graveyard, we make a 3/2 wolf. So he's also good in the later portions of the game. On our 2-drops, we have the Werewolf Pack Leader. He has nice stats. Scourge Wolf has Delirium and very notably has First Strike, so he's not that easy to deal with. We have Rahilda. Rahilda is actually a werewolf, so that's pretty good, and it's a staple even in competitive Brawl. Kissing Naturalist gets mana when we attack. And on our 3-drops from the Turtle set, there's actually a wolf. There's Token Razar, unsupervised, and has First Strike, and whenever another non-token creature control leaves the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Token Razar and create a treasure token. This ability triggers only once a turn. So we have quite a few wolves and werewolves. In total, I believe this deck has 5 werewolves and 12 wolves, but we also have 3 shapeshifters, and they can be either or. And that allows us to also, in our mana base, play the land Secret Tunnel. So 2 target creatures you control that share a creature type can't be blocked this turn. So we can name 2 wolves or 2 werewolves. Notably, our commander's a werewolf. And just go for the damage. As for the enchantments, there's a lot of options, but the ones I really like is Howling Moon to punish our opponent for playing multiple creatures. And we grow our wolf or werewolf. And the Hullpack Resurgence. It is a flash card, so we can use it as a combat trick. And it gives all the wolves and werewolves get +1/+1 and trample, because our commander doesn't have naturally trample. As for our late game, there are quite a few options even in wolves and werewolves, but there's a lot of competition because we can only have one choice normally in a game to tutor for something with our couple green tutors. But the big one has always been Ouroboros. It's just so good, especially we play so many creatures, we just grow them up. And the other one I really liked is Tusky because it's very good into the blue decks. If they have blue mana open, we just play Tusky. He can be countered, and then we attack with everybody, and we get to draw. And we don't have the restriction that the creatures have to be wolves or werewolves. So it helps us out in both scenarios. And if we're against a red deck, for example, they cannot kill Tusky that easily. And then after, we get to stack with Tovolar and draw even more cards. Alright, let's see how we do with Tovolar, Dire Overlord. Okay, Torgo against Celes. Rune-Knight. Do you want this land? Not a huge fan. Maybe we can get something better. Alright, it's not a bad shuffle. Not a bad surveil, because we were going to get a land on top. Alright, we got a nice curve. I could play Toski, but the best thing... is to just defend our dog. We deal with this, and we hold. Dog is quite useful. It can grow our commander. And if he burns removal, I'm okay with it. I don't know if we should have spent the one more. I think we're holding two. There was an argument to spend this. I think it was worth it. We did have one extra mana. Yeah, let's deal with this. We lose our Planeswalker, but I think it's worth it. Too good value otherwise. We can burn this. Let's pay. There you go. I think we take all but the dog. And we got there. We get to draw a bunch of cards. And we can defend our creature, because we have Tamia safekeeping. The only probable thing we should maybe do with Torgal, because he cares about dogs and wolves, is to use the mana from the Mutable to get a tap Mutable to just get one extra counter on our commander. And I think it was not bad at all, because we did have an extra mana to defend our guys. GG's. Against Thor. I don't like this hand too much. Two or fewer. See if we can surveil to something nice. I mean, we can play on curve, so I don't hate it. Play Badger Mole, force interaction. So they have to choose the Rambo or deal the mole. Oh, that's for damage. Can I do this? Yes. Here. I think give it a counter. It's fine. Could have done the other way around, but I want to give the +1 counter on my commander. Could attack here with everybody. I'm missing a little bit more. Problem is he may just want to board wipe me. And then I don't get the draw, which is what I want. I think I'm attacking with everybody here. I want to wait next turn. Probably should have played starting town, but I changed my mind. I want the turn I play my commander. I want to draw. If not, I get to do the damage. It is unfortunately combat damage, which is fine. Do here. Here, now I guarantee the draws, which is the big thing I want right now. And pressure them. I get to surveil. Yep, outside bombardier is not bad. I could play you and we draw more and we get to do some damage. I think that is a little bit better. And that's good enough. We get to pressure their life total. The value of the land as well. There was an argument to play him before, but as I said, I wanted to do a line where the turn I play my commander, I want to draw cards. That's the main goal, because that refills our hand. Imagine if our commander died, and we were going to draw 3 lands in a row. That saved us from pretty much getting flooded. Now we have a little bit more options. And in case our commander died, we use the Battling Garden to get it back. And it was not bad to give the Tenacious Pup counter to our commander, because he actually survived the board wipe. 4 gets into the tricky threshold for Big Red to deal with creatures, and that ended up rewarding us in our commander staying alive. GG's. Disa the Restless. Problem is, if we don't play Bossing Say, we may regret it. Because we don't have a basic land. Probably Torgoldon too. Unless I draw a way to defend them. Later Blossom. Let's play Torgo. Next turn we can Wicked Wolf one of their cards if we need to. This is quite tanky. So easy reanimating. Normally if they play the trolls, they're going to reanimate. That's pretty bad. Okay, it's probably trying to get Delirium. He is a wolf. Here we're just trying to draw cards. If he wants to block, he loses the 1/1, which I mean is fine. At least we get rid of the 1/1s. Problem is they look like a reanimator version, which we may need to just play Ouroboros next turn. It really depends on what they play here. So he wants to give everybody haste. I think we were overboard. We just don't have that much time. User blocker. If any token synergy, we get out of the table, and we get at least a counter to our guys. We have ways to punch through. We just need to make our guys strong enough. In case they bring back something large, we do have Moonlight Hunt for it. We have 6 mana, so we can take out the token and take out their big blocker. They get to tutor, so probably toxic, I assume. Normally they do that. They're getting at least they're losing 5 lives, so it's not that bad. Interesting. My opponent was too greedy. They should have just gotten Toxic Deluge. What was in their hand? Maybe an OTK piece? Because they could have reanimated something, for example, the Overlord, and take out, have a blocker. I really thought they were just going to tutor for Toxic Deluge. Alright, GG's. Alright, we keep because we do have a red source. Do we Sylvian tutor for? Actually, don't know. I think we play the pup. And let's tutor. Be efficient. What do I want? I can get Fury. That is not bad. That's another decent one. There's that 2-drop to give me mana. I think Toski is probably the most decent one. It's a little bit better into black. They may have certain type of removal. Of course, Toxic Deluge is a thing. But make him have it here. We're just gonna draw more cards. We need to draw now. Okay, so they're playing their guy. We don't have a clean answer. Just keep going. Try to set up as much as we can. And draw more cards. Bare minimum, we drew quite a bit. Is sacrifice a permanent, right? 2 non-land tokens, okay. Or give him the draw. Nah, draw. Think we need to stay ahead ourselves. So we can attack with everybody. And I can do this on instant speed. Without flying, unfortunately. So we can make extra wolves. I think we attack with the crew. Try to draw as much as we can. What are bad attacks? 4 is not too great. So these ones. So everybody is not bad, except the bird. Because the bird is a bad trade. Alright. Ooh, this is not bad either. We may need more land. What is Badger Milk up? Get bossing, say running. What else can we do? I think the rest is fine. And we Earthbend. I think that is something else we can do. And we're mana efficient here. I will lose a couple creatures, that's fine. And in response, I kill it. Alright, that was good enough. We got to pressure them. That's the power of drawing cards. Not only with Tusky, but also with our commander. And the nice thing is, I like about Tusky is makes removal a little bit more difficult for them. He avoids all the red removal. And really only the -1 counters are the big thing that can help us. And of course, Spider Ham just giving +1 to all our wolves, squirrels, I believe it's also squirrels, was able to survive the Modok -1. GG's. Let's get the lighted halfling. Not the best cards, but not the worst either. I think I just play my commander here. Bare minimum I get to draw. Maybe they play a creature, get to deal with it. Unfortunately, it does make heroic intervention not that great. Ah, this is rough. I think we should just wait. I think I should play the battle and play the elf. You get your treasures. Yep, still not the best. Ah, not the... Okay, so I think we have to do this here. It's just not the best. Gets to play this guy. Oh, it's the... Not great. We honestly didn't have the best hands in the world. Howling Moon. Keep doing as much damage as possible. Yeah, these drops have been absolutely abysmal. Not a single creature we have drawn. And we need to keep mana open for heroic intervention. If our commander dies, we just lose the game. Simple as that at this point. Also, all these are tapped for green. And we have only 2 green sources. Okay, not that bad. Okay, huge. That's why we needed to save. And now if they play another card, I do get my stuff. Probably Tusky here. You can draw some cards. I have Moon Mist to defend my guys. Okay. Got another green source, bare minimum. But it's too slow for Sylvan Tutor. If we had Worldly Tutor, it wouldn't be too bad. Alright, they do get the Ureni set up. It is put on the battlefield, audibly it's not cast. If he plays it, I will get a wolf. It's very useful because I have Secret Tunnel. Okay, I need to spend this and 4, and I can play a 2 draw. Okay. Why can't... don't know. Why can't I act... Oh, they are... This is a wolf and werewolf, right? It doesn't count. I forgot. So I get to grow this guy, which is going to be... So what if I go for... Oh, am I dead next turn? That's the big thing. 12. Could be. Could be that I am dead. Ooh, what if we Fury? If I maddening Hex, what if I Fury here and I just deal with this guy? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm so close. Because I could also maddening Hex and play the Elf. But I think we may need to just Fury here. I don't think the Hex... Very unfortunate. I am a bit worried I am dead here. So let's try to find a way out. One way out is Ouroboros. I also need to find a werewolf for my commander. This creature attacks. Is there a werewolf that has haste? I could also to any target. I can go face. That also can work. I think this guy. As long as I'm not dead, I think I should be fine. Manning Hex, there's no guarantee he plays. In the instance in sorceries, I'm pretty low at this point. Yeah, I was thinking this guy was a wolf, but nope. They don't share the creature type. Has to have 4 artifacts. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's huge because I get 2 wolves here. Makes a copy. What are you taking out? If you take out the wolf, I still have my werewolf, so it's not too bad. And this tutor guarantees I will connect with something. Fine. What you got there? Get the block, Tusky. But the power of Secret Tunnel. And I think we were dead if we didn't go for the Fury line. If we didn't deal with Fury, he had Terror. I think we would have died, honestly. Because he had the Dragon Hawk. Because it's also attack. He may also exile a bunch of cards and then not use them. And it does 2 for each card that are still exiled. Yeah, I think if we didn't do the Fury line, we were going to lose this game. GG's. For the post-game wrap with Tubular Dire Overlord is pretty good. Even after the years this guy got printed, He's still quite solid in Brawl, just aggro in general doesn't do bad at all. We have just pretty nice color combination. The green allows us to ramp early if we need to. We have access to also Badger Mole Cub. The red gives us also access to anti-blue tech. We have access to the Hexing Squelcher, Spider Punk to help us out. If you also want to run the Blood Moon effects, you can do that as well. Red also gives you access to a lot of really good early game red spells to deal with the elves, the small creatures that want to block you. And then in the later turns, we can use the Fury and Pyrokinesis as free removal. Plus Maddening Hex. If they're a control deck and we land this thing, they're going to be suffering so much with this. And we also have some other non-wolves such as Broadside Bombardiers. There's Screaming Nemesis so they cannot heal. That ends up just being a pretty nice combination. I do think Gruul may just be it for wolves and werewolves. We're going to see later on if Golgari is actually worthwhile for the trade-off. But this guy is just quite solid. I was pretty happy with the performance. Of course, there's certain weaknesses that this deck can have. Is it doesn't deal well with Indestructible. We don't really have a nice solution against that. There's also, if the creature is way too big, it can be a bit difficult for us to deal with, but it's not impossible. We have cards like Moonlight Hunt to just do collective damage to a creature. There's also the fight abilities that give us Indestructible in case our creatures are strong enough, so we can actually fight and then go for an attack. And that forces the opponent, if they want to block, their creature will die. So you have some cute ways to deal with interaction. It's not that bad. There's a lot of 4-drops, and I do have to say, be bit wary how many 4-drops you want to run in this type of deck, because if you name Wolf, especially on the 4-drops, there are a lot of options, but I don't think they're that necessary. And you can just waste a lot of wild cards and you just get okay wolves. For example, there is Nightpack Ambusher. It is nice. It's really not necessary, especially if you want to tutor. Are you tutoring for this, or are you tutoring for Urubori that can guarantee just immediate power, and then it's Caos. So that's the big competition. There's also the Harbingers, which is fine. But again, the more 4-drops you're running, the worse your curve is going to be early. That's one of the disadvantages. Another one that can be run is Shared Animosity, if I can find it. This one, Shared Animosity, whenever a creature you control attacks, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn for each other attacking creature that shares a creature type. Sometimes we just don't have enough for this to be worth it. For example, our commander's a werewolf. And if we have a couple of wolf, for example, we don't get that much of a benefit. Until we have more wolves, that's when this card becomes better. And the thing is, this is not a creature. So the turn it enters, we may not, our only card in our hand may be a Mana Dork and this guy. So that's the big risk of running those type of spells. I don't think they're necessary for this deck. As long as you have a nice core early game, that is just good enough. And then you can invest in the enchantments later. I would say if you want to craft this deck, you don't need to craft a lot of the rares, especially the best wolves are just fine. Your commander's pretty nice. Just assemble your key core of removal interaction. That's going to save you more. The cards that you're going to see in other decks. And then once you have most of these cards, then you can craft the popular werewolves that see play in other decks. For example, Rahilda sees play in other decks. You can play maybe Screaming Nemesis or the Reckless Stormseer Seeker. Sees a couple play in other decks, but not that much anymore, but it's still not bad. You can also craft the Shapeshifters. For example, here there is the Realmwalker to name wolves. And felt it's not that necessary, but it's another way to just gain a couple cards. So really there is quite a bit of options on to play this commander. I really like this commander still. It is not bad at all. It's an efficient aggro deck, so you can get the job done pretty well. You can also grow the board, and access to the tutors have allowed you to, now you can pick and choose if you need an Urubori to finish the game, or do you need to draw cards with Toski? And I felt very comfortable just attacking, drawing the cards, and even if I got board wiped, I had an answer. It really just took the very oppressive commanders that maybe dealt with our board early and didn't allow us to draw cards. Then we can start suffering. But still, if we get to pressure them early and they didn't board wipe, we just win the game. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.